And welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario Galaxy. Last time we finished up the Deep Dark Galaxy as far as we're concerned, and we almost got through the Dreadnought Galaxy. Now we have 3 more stars to go. A Comet, a Hidden, and this one, the Revenge of the Topman Tribe, which you may be thinking, oh goody, more reused boss fights, and I would respond similarly. Now you may be thinking, Prankster Comet, oh boy, is it just gonna be the same thing? It's actually not. It's actually, I think, a speedrun. Now there's a hidden star right here. You know how hard it is keeping a Dreadnought clean? Then someone comes and drops a little trash in the ammo depot? Hey, we have plenty of bombs, where maybe you could use them to blow up all this trash. Gee, thanks. We bring back this minigame again. I think it's the same pattern, too. You might need more bombs, actually. You might need like 1 more bomb. But anyway, just be very fast. And just generally line yourself up and then throw. The fact that the nunchuck has little octagonal grooves on them, a la the GameCube/N64 controller, will be a godsend for you in this. If it wasn't for those, this would be a lot tougher, because you're going to do precise diagonal throwing. Wow, I'm never going to take out the trash again now that I know you can just blow it up. Oh, take this as my thanks. I found it lying around. Maybe it'll help you. Like, I like how these guys are like, hey, while cleaning up, I found this. Instead of just being like, oh hey, here's a medal for your efforts. Like penguins. I like penguins and all, but hey, they're kind of jerks in this game for hoarding so many power stars when the galaxy's in danger. Just saying. You know what? Mario really could just be like, I need that to like save the galaxy. That'd make things so much simpler, actually. So back into the Dreadnought Galaxy, into the very star that we just were in. Again, I actually came up with an interesting thought the other day, because I've actually been comparing this game a lot to 64 and Sunshine, and I was actually thinking about it, and you can actually play Mario games in sets of 2s. You have Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, you have Super Mario 64 and Sunshine, and you have 3D Land, 3D World. You can kind of group them together like that, and if you group them together like that, they're actually a lot better. Yeah, see that weird spinny circle thing? That wasn't me, I was holding forward the entire time. Thank you, in return let me create a shortcut for you. Okay, I'm going to transform. So yeah, the controls, for some reason, kind of get a little bit messed up with the gravity. And again, I feel like that's something they fixed in Galaxy 2, which I am forever thankful for. Don't get me wrong. Now, we need this guy to get the pull star, except we totally don't. Yeah, typically with the green Topman, your side flip / well-timed spin will actually be sufficient, kind of negating their entire purpose. Yeah, it kind of sucks to be them. I love how the music kicks in once you get to this part. I already commented that last time, but the point still stands. It's pretty cool how they have such dynamic sound design where it just picks up from that point in the boss fight. Like it's not a separate like part. Like the song doesn't start over more dramatic. It just picks up from that spot more dramatic, which is really cool. I could have sworn Skyward Sword did that too. I like Skyward Sword more than most. Yeah, I will defend Skyward Sword for a lot more than most would. Yeah, the end game does feel rushed, and I fully admit that, but I still enjoyed the game a lot. Is it my favorite Zelda? Heck no. I'd put both Wind Waker or Majora over Skyward Sword any day, but I still find Skyward Sword to be a fair game. I don't dislike any 3D Zeldas. Because they all have pros and cons. Ocarina of Time was first, so I give it a lot more credit. Basically on the merit that it was first, so of course it's not the best. Majora's Mask, some parts of the game are really unforgiving with time. Mainly the Gerudo crafting thing with the gold dust. The thing where you have to basically kill, what's his face? Goat. Is that his name? Goat? Basically, you have to kill a boss effectively twice because they don't give you don't have nearly enough time to actually do a certain thing. So you basically have to repeat the boss and then do a 3-day side quest and hope for the best. So some things are so missable that it's kind of borderline jerkish, and that's a problem I do have with Majora's Mask's inherent design, that some things just are kind of mean. And the dungeons are really good, but also kind of... they're really packed, because you have a time limit, and yet you also have a lot more collectibles than usual. You have 16? Is it 16 stray fairies, or is it less than that? But anyway, there's stray fairies in every dungeon, and it makes it really stressful. So like, for me, Majora's Mask, you know, I do find some side quests don't give enough time, but that's just a me problem, really. If we want to be completely honest. Okay, so we need to lure the green guy over. I guess. Any day now. Relying on enemies as platforms is kind of frustrating sometimes when they just poke you around. Especially if it is a pokey, again, referencing that meme again. Let's see. But, like, from an objective standpoint, I would almost say Majora's Mask is the best Zelda. Because, like, to me, with Majora's Mask, other than the fact that, you know, the frame rate sucks because it's an N64 game, you know, graphics obviously aren't that stellar, blah 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 blah. As far as game design goes, it's a really solid game. And I think it has the fewest, in my opinion, objective issues. Again, frame rate could be better. And most everything else, though, in my opinion, is very subjective, though. Like, some people find time limits really stressful and sort of restrictive, and I get why, but that's a personal opinion kind of thing. That's not like it's objectively bad to have a time limit in a video game, because a lot of video games have time limits, let's be honest. I'm gonna hit that, aren't I? Yep. Well, that sucked. But yeah, speaking of time limits, I stress out with time limits, fun fact. Wow, this is just going really badly. And now we have, like, the ring part to go through, so I think we might die on this, actually. Unless I play a lot more carefully soon, like ASAP, start playing more carefully. There was a life shroom, as I've come to call them, up ahead, but I don't know if we're gonna make it there, with all these things. Basically, one of the interesting mechanics of these little ring guys is they typically stop once you pass them, which is actually really helpful. Fun fact. Also, the pattern on the floor is actually really helpful. Fun fact. So, for example, with these three, it shows exactly the point at which the three intersect. Meaning there's actually a place to basically, you know where to jump, essentially. Anyway, with Majora's Mask, yeah, like, level design-wise, I don't have any real qualms with the game. You know, 3D Zeldas, then the next one would be Wind Waker, and you could argue that the Triforce quest is a giant waste of time, and I would agree with you. I don't like the Triforce quest, even though I do think Wind Waker is overall my favorite. It's my favorite, but I actually think Majora's Mask is a better made game in terms of things that are often complaints were basically like intentional design choices, and that the design choices actually work okay. It's not an issue like it doesn't work, it's just a matter of personal preference, kind of. You know, Majora's Mask is a very stressful game, and I get why people aren't into that, but it's also like some people like the sort of challenge of having such a tight time window and find the repetition of it actually interesting, and thus, again, the repetition of it actually works in some ways, you know, like Groundhog Day, but, you know, it's hard to explain. Yes, because I was a repeat star, I just talked about Zelda, but then again, that's never stopped me before. Fun fact, Zelda is actually my favorite Nintendo series on the whole. I'd say Zelda's the best because I've played every Zelda except Triforce Heroes, and they're all good. I don't think there's a bad Zelda. There are some that are better than others. I am in the minority, but I even defend Zelda 2. It's hard as nails, yes, it's frustrating as all heck, but I still enjoy the game to some extent, especially when I have save states of some variety. But I don't hate Zelda 2 as much as most people. Most people like Zelda 2 sucks, but like, I'm in the camp that's actually like, yeah, the game has weird issues, but it actually does a lot of things well, so you know, the difficulty of the game is like really hard and frustrating, but like, I personally don't really go for when difficulty is used as like a major issue in a game, unless it's difficulty in a bad way. You know, Zelda 2 is very precise and difficult, but like, it's kind of one of those things where it's all you. Well, okay, yeah, the controls are a little bit unresponsive because it is an NES game, but on the whole, if there is some issue, it's generally not exactly the game's fault most of the time. Sometimes it is, but other times it really isn't. So it really is kind of a matter of opinion there. Oh, it is the Scout. Is this the... No, that's Dreadnought Galaxy 2, I think. So I think it's an item that's not in this game. Shoot. We don't have enough for him, so we gotta just keep going. So, yeah. You know, Link to the Past also, I personally have issues with, but like, as a game, I don't. It's just personal preference stuff, not really like, this is bad kind of things. Like, personally, I don't think Link to the Past is as air quotes fun as other Zeldas, but it's still just as well made as most. It's kind of a weird argument. You know, because a game can be super well made, but you might not enjoy it at all. You know, that's my logic about, like, Uncharted 4, for example. Like, I didn't get into the story, so even though I think it was, like, a perfectly fine game, as a game, I just didn't enjoy everything about it as much as the other Uncharted's even, because of just personal preference. I just didn't have as much personal fun playing that particular game, compared to Uncharted 2, namely. To be honest, every Uncharted has one moment that's complete BS, and I'm really not okay with that. Uncharted 1 has what they call the Blue Room, but there's actually a bug that lets you bypass it, or bypass the challenge of it. In Chapter 6, I want to say, there's a room where you basically have to drop down into like this sort of watery room, and you basically have to fight a wave of enemies, and you have like very little cover. So it's considered the hardest part of the game, which is why most people break the game to get by that on harder difficulties. Even on lower difficulties, people have trouble with it on their first time playing through the game. Uncharted 2 has the train, which is really, really difficult to the point of like being just kind of like... I'm conflicted on the train because it is a great cinematic set piece in the game, but it's also really frustrating sometimes, especially on harder difficulties. just because of how tanky some of the enemies are. Chart 3 has the ship ballroom, which is considered the big difficulty spike of that game. There's also another one in like the final level as well. I wasn't supposed to do that, but I did it anyway. You're supposed to go around and jump up the step there, but I just bypassed that. Chart 4 has Chapter 23's ship battle, where you basically have to fight off like 3 waves of enemies without a checkpoint. And it's like from what I've read, it's universally considered, if you're playing on higher difficulties, the worst part of the game. Flat out. Like, there's like nothing good about this part of the game. And I would agree with that. I do not like that part of the game. I had to lower the difficulty. I was actually doing really good at a new game crushing, which is the highest difficulty playthrough. But I had to actually lower the difficulty because literally like guides were saying don't even try to do this on crushing until you get the unlimited ammo and then play it on crushing, because there is an unlimited ammo mode. So yeah, it was like don't even try it until you get unlimited ammo, which was interesting advice that they were like just don't even bother. And I'm really not sure if that's good game design or not, when basically even guides are like, yeah, give up at this point because it's impossible. So yeah, that was like the most frustrating part of that game, and that kind of just overall hurt my enjoyment, because I did enjoy the game, but that part really soured it for me, because I spent like 2 hours trying to do that before looking at a guide that just said don't bother. Because all the other Uncharted games I can do on crushing difficulty without infinite ammo or any cheats, no problem. Let's play Chase. Can you catch us all before the time runs out? This is kind of frustrating. I think these are actual seconds, which is not something you see very often in Mario games. You typically have what they call Mario seconds, which are actually slightly faster in real time, fun fact. Is there a bunny in there? One saving grace of this is you can use the cursor to brush away the snow, which is actually really cool. No pun intended. I always talk about cool things. I use the word cool a lot anyway, which is always ironic when I'm talking about a snow level. Luckily, I don't think the bunnies are as programmed to be as fast in this level, even though, you know, obviously they are considerably faster than Mario. They are generally slower than other encounters that aren't timed. So in 50 seconds, I roughly caught nothing. So the logic of a third of the time should be spent on each bunny. That's not exactly the case. I'm gonna ignore him, actually. I know you get a fire flower somewhere, but I don't know where. Oh, hi. Moving back around. Yeah, this one is actually pretty difficult, if I'm not mistaken. We might have to finish this next time, because it's a combination of luck with the bunnies and precision, and also kind of knowing what you're doing in advance. Because you need a fire flower somewhere, but I don't know where you actually get a fire flower. Oh, there we go. But that took so much time that I don't think we can even do this now. It's gonna take really good luck, actually. Catching all 3 in literally 50 seconds. Under 50 seconds now. I'm just trying to locate all 3 first before I actually worry about catching them at this point, just to know where they are. I don't think... Oh yeah, here's the thing you can do. You can trap them. Eep, you're fast. Yeah, if you lure them into that, okay, that's the trick. If you get them into that section, it's not that bad, but that's easier said than done. I think the last bunny is in the chest. But there's no way we're doing this. So I guess we shall retry this in the next episodes. Thank you for watching, and I hope you join me next time for more Super Mario Galaxy.